Hey everyone! Hi! Hey everybody, it's Zahava. Welcome back to the channel. I hope my forehead's not being cut off too much. I'm having a little trouble setting up the camera in the car. But welcome to a summertime mother-daughter hangout, bookish, thrifty-ish type of vlog. We are just going to be hanging out today. The Hudson War Memorial Library is having their August book sale today. It usually runs a Sunday to a Saturday, but in the summer they don't run Sunday sales. So we are heading there on a Monday afternoon, which is a really, really big step for me because they only open at 2:30 and it takes me about 40 minutes to get there. But the traffic coming home is low-key kind of stressing me right now, just thinking about it. So hopefully it will be worth the drive. We are going to hang out, maybe have some lunch. We're going to check out Penny Pets. And at Penny Pets, you know, they have those big IKEA shelves, and what we're going to end up doing is leaving a couple of books behind. Whether or not we find anything, it doesn't really matter. So we're going to leave behind Cher's autobiography here. I don't know if she wrote it, maybe it's ghost written, but do you guys remember when I picked this one up during the birthday book haul? You never actually saw this one because I picked it up to give it to my father for Father's Day, so he's since read it and he doesn't want to hang on to it anymore. So I'm going to be donating this one, and the next one that I'm going to be donating is Shadow People, and this is Inside History's Most Notorious Secret Societies. So I think that there's probably some people in the Hudson area that would be interested in reading something like that. So we will be donating these two at Penny Pets regardless of whether or not I find anything. And yeah, if you guys want to hang out with us today while we shop for books and maybe do some vintage shopping mother-daughter style, please feel free to get yourselves a snack and a drink and let's get going. Let's do this thing. Okay, so at Penny Pets, we ended up finding just the one book. This is the #1 Ladies Detective Agency. I have heard about this book. I have never read it, but I decided to pick it up because it's free and it's not a very thick book. So, it's got some pretty large formatting. It's coming in at about 170 pages or so. So I thought it could be kind of fun to check this one out. Right now we are having lunch in the car because the thrift store that I wanted to go to is actually closed on Mondays. So not a fun time. But we still have about an hour and 15 minutes or so to kill. And then we're going to head to the library sale. So stay tuned for that while we eat. You're on camera.
Hi.
While we eat our lunch.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Yeah, so apparently Monday is not the day to come to this area. All the thrift stores were closed. We ended up having about an hour to kill. Right now we're sitting outside the library and there are about 10 more minutes until the sale opens, and we ended up having to kill some time, so we walked into a Global Pet Foods and we may or may not have come home with a new scratching post. So that's going to have to be installed in the living room, and I have no idea how Addison and I are going to get that upstairs, but we are sitting outside the library and I am hoping that it's going to have been worth the trip. So we will see. We're just waiting for it to open now, and I will see about taking some footage inside and letting you know if we do end up finding anything. I don't even know if you guys are going to see this footage the way this day is going, so we shall see. We shall see.
One eternity later.
Hey you all, so I am back at home, and yesterday's trip to the Hudson Library sale was such a flop. The library ended up being way too busy, so I really wasn't able to get any footage there. The town of Hudson, just in case you're thinking of going, do not go on a Monday. Everything that was interesting to see was closed that day. It was just like we had so much time to kill because we were there really early because I was trying to beat the traffic. And in the end, anything interesting that I wanted to see was actually closed. But I did end up getting two books. One, which I think I may have already shown you, which is the #1 Ladies Detective Agency, which I picked up for free at Penny Pets. And the second one, which is The Shadow of the Wind, which was something that I happened to have had on my Amazon wish list. So this only cost me $2. It was actually one of two copies that they had. I had originally picked up the first copy, but this one was in a little better condition. So when I found it, I picked it up. So today is Tuesday, so we're the next day now. And I just finished shipping a lot of my orders, and now I pretty much have the afternoon. So I think I'm gonna sit down and read, and then possibly I was going to film another TBR teapot video because I really had a lot of fun filming the TBR teapot or TBR jar. But so Chess of Chess's Book Nook actually gave me the idea to call it a TBR teapot. So that's what we're gonna be calling it going forward. I just had so much fun filming that video for you guys, and I just really want to go into my TBR teapot, pull out a few prompts, and see what we might have in store for September reads. So that's potentially something that I'm going to do a little bit later in the afternoon. I don't know, we'll see. But in the interim, I think I'm going to sit down and read some more of the books that I have got going for me right now, and this is what they are. Now, I went to the library yesterday, Sunday. I think it was Sunday. I went to the library, took a walk. It's about a half an hour there, a half an hour back for me. I picked up 3 books at the library. And let me just say that I know that I said that I wasn't going to take out library books anymore, but A, it's my channel and I can lie if I want to. And B, it also helps me with exercise because it gives me a destination, a place to go, and I can take out the books and get the dopamine kick, and I don't have to read them. So I've got 4 weeks on this loan, so I'm totally fine and not feeling guilty about it at all. So let me show you what I have. I took out a copy of The Bog Wife, which is one that I've been wanting to read. I don't have it on my wish list, but it's sort of on my radar, so I picked that one up. Then I picked up, I've been reading Alex E. Harrow. She's the one that wrote A Spindle Splintered and A Mirror Mended. If you guys remember, I just read those 2 novellas by her. She also has The 10,000 Doors of January, which is what I picked up. And then there was another one whose title I can't remember, but they had it next to this. And I don't know, I just like the cover of this one. And this is actually on my Amazon wish list, or was. So I'm gonna read it, hopefully, because I do have this one until the end of the month. And then lastly, I picked up my first Brahm book, and this one here is Lost Gods, and this does have some very gorgeous illustration in the center. It's got like some glossy pages, but these books are kind of like weirdly formatted. They're 8 by 10, which is really kind of weird to hold and to read and stuff. I do have a copy, if you guys remember a previous book unboxing that we did together. I have a copy of Evil in Me, which is also by Brahm, but I haven't picked it up yet. And then I guess I was just sort of alphabetically browsing the aisle at the library, and this was in, and it stood out to me, and I wanted to try out his writing. I haven't read Slewfoot yet, but I know that there's a lot of booktubers and people in the bookish community that have. So I'd like to try this author out and see if he works for me or not. I guess I probably could have taken the book that I already have on my physical TBR, but I don't know. This one looked interesting to me. And I did also do try a chapter in this book here, and I think I'm going to continue with this one potentially next. Some other books that I did try a chapter with to sort of decide the order in which I'm going to be reading my books this month. Like, you guys will see this August vlog somewhere after my July reading wrap up. I tend to like to do a mid-month reading vlog that's more of a casual conversation, as if we're sitting around between friends and we're just talking about what's going on behind the scenes. So if you guys like this type of video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, because I do like very much to have an intimate conversation with you guys. I do like to do list videos and like showy type videos like TBR teapot videos and stuff like that as well, and of course, unboxings, because who doesn't love an unboxing? But more importantly, as I'm trying to grow my channel, I'm actually thinking about ways to stand out from the rest of the other channels that are out there. And I think that what I want to convey to you all is that I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me when I don't really have a lot of people to discuss books with. So for me, and hopefully for you, it's more of like an intimate encounter, an intimate conversation. Like, I want you guys all to understand that every single one of you that watches these videos, you're so important to me, because I really feel like I'm not alone. So if if you guys like that kind of a vibe, I just thank you so much for being here. You must, or you wouldn't be here to begin with. So that's me being sappy. And we're going to move on from being sappy, and I'm going to tell you the other books that I started the try a chapter with so far this month. So do you guys remember that we picked What the River Knows from the TBR Teapot? So I did try a chapter with that just to sort of get the vibes and see which book I was going to read next after I finished The Husband's Secret, which I did finish. And that was one of the picks that we had as well for the prompt that was for the Family Secret. So Family Secret, Husband's Secret. I finished that one, I think by August 3rd, I was finished with that one. I tried a chapter of this one. This one is a YA, I think. I'm not sure that I knew that when I bought it, because I was triaging through the adult books. So I think it's maybe potentially a new adult book. In any case, I think that the heroine in this book is 19 or 20 years old when we meet her. So I will probably continue to read this. I know that there's a sequel. I don't know if it's a duology or if it's a trilogy, but Book Outlet does have the one that comes next. So if I like it, I could always pick it up. But so far I've done one chapter. I mean, I can't really say much about it. It takes place in like a fantastical sort of Egyptian setting. I haven't gotten past the first chapter. I think I read maybe a prologue if there was one. I don't know. Because right now we're just looking at the dust jacket because I take off the dust jackets when I read. I don't know if you guys do that too, but I do. So I'm going to continue with this one. I just don't know in what order. Maybe today. I don't know. We'll see because I have a lot of time today. And then as promised, I did try a little bit of Stephen King's The Stand. And I think that the reason that I was so hesitant to start this one, you might think it's the size because it's over 1,100 pages. But, and this was to answer the prompt of read a book that's over 1,000 pages. So I think at 1,100 pages, we have satisfied the demands of the prompt. But I did read the prologue and the first or second chapter of this so far, and it's reading pretty much okay. I actually watched the first episode of the 9-part miniseries that is on Amazon Prime right now. I think I want to say it's maybe through Paramount. I'm not sure which network is holding it, but I read it and I was hesitating reading this book because I thought maybe it was going to be like a Stephen King horror. I'm not really getting horror vibes. Like as in when I read it, I don't feel afraid. I don't feel like I'm going to lose sleep or have nightmares or anything like that. So this I'm probably going to read. You know how do you guys remember when I told you I was scared to read it? I was scared to read it because I thought that I was going to get nightmares, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. I watched the first episode, as I said, of the miniseries. It's not giving me like really scary It vibes, you know? So, I probably will get through this. I don't know if I'll finish it in the month of August, but I'm definitely going to make some headway through this one and see where it goes. And then lastly, from the August TBR prompts, because I guess this is sort of becoming an unofficial check-in to see if I'm actually following the prompts and you're holding me accountable. So I'm reporting to you because I am being kept accountable. So I did start Pride and Prejudice in Space, and I have some things I want to say. So first, this book is full glossy. It's fully glossy. It's actually printed in China. So for those of you that are worried about potential duties and tariffs and stuff, if you need to bring it in, I'm just letting you know that it's printed in China. It says so on the inside flap. So just some trivia for you. It is fully glossy. There is a bit of controversy online about the way that this book was written. So I had discussed with one of my followers on Instagram that they were thinking this book might be something for them, but they were worried that it was going to be too much a verbatim retelling of the original novel of Pride and Prejudice. And I wouldn't say that it's verbatim, but I would say that it's very, 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 very similar. Very similar to the point where people on Goodreads, and I probably should not have gone down that rabbit hole, because sometimes what happens is, now, I should preface this by saying that I have never actually read Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. I have seen every version of the movie. I know the story because how can you not? But did I actually sit down and read it? No. I've read Emma. I've read Jane Eyre. You know, those are just a couple because when I did my my university degree, I have a Bachelor of English Literature, and I have a master's degree also, but not in English literature. But I do have a Bachelor in English Lit, and when I was studying, I was focusing mostly on Victorian and Edwardian Lit. So there were quite a few books that I have read, like The Monk and Moll Flanders and things like that, which I've talked about on the channel before, but Pride and Prejudice never actually made it onto my syllabus. So I never read that, but you know, everyone pretty much knows this story. And yeah, it is pretty much Pride and Prejudice, but just in space. Like literally that, you know? And that's what the Goodreads reviews will tell you. Now, I don't use any other platforms. I'm not using Fable or Storygraph because it's just too much. I can't extend myself to that level to start posting reviews on all these different platforms and stuff. And also, I think I'm a little bit a victim of my age because at 44 years old, I grew up with Goodreads, and I'm a creature of habit, you know, and I'm sorry if you don't like Goodreads or Amazon, or, you know, you have a preference to the other apps. I'm a computer girly. I just want to go copy paste and like put things in my computer and do things easily that way. So anyway, I'm a Goodreads girl. And I was looking at the feedback for this novel and the reviews and stuff, and there are some pretty angry people. There are some very happy people as well. People that are really pleased that Alexis Lampley has decided to stick so fastidiously to the original text, but they are not wrong when they say that, and these are their words, not mine, okay? So you guys can go look it up. But they're not wrong when they say that there's like two different weird conflicting kind of voices. There's the voice where it sounds very Victorian, and then there's like some additions that the author has made to the text that sound very colloquial, as if it would be colloquial in a space-time, space opera type story, futuristic type environment. And also that the costumes, I guess wardrobe that the ladies are wearing in this book, it's too similar to what Victorian era dress would be without having enough futuristic elements in it. And they're flying spaceships instead of riding coaches, which I kind of like. But again, I don't have a copy of Pride and Prejudice. I've never read Pride and Prejudice. So does it stick to the text pretty much exactly, or like anywhere between 70 and 100%? Maybe not 100% because that would be straight on plagiarism. But if it does, I basically couldn't tell you. You would have to compare this novel with your own copy of Pride and Prejudice, such as some of the other reviewers on Goodreads have, before reading or after reading this novel. I should not, in retrospect, have gone down that rabbit hole and read all those reviews, because now it's kind of skewing my desire basically to finish reading it. Like, I'm starting to wonder, after so many people have said that they DNF this, I'm starting to wonder if that's not having an influence on me and if I don't want to DNF this myself, which is really sad, because when I picked this book, that was supposed to be for the TBR Teapot prompt for the predicted 5-star read, a book that I had on my physical TBR that I thought was going to be 5 stars. And I guess I was just basing it on like the cover or the Pride and Prejudice story, but I don't know. I'm kind of torn about it because I don't know if I actually mind that it's sticking so much to the original story. But then again, after I read everybody else's reviews, I'm like, well, maybe I'm low-key kind of annoyed by it. So I don't know. I'm kind of debating at this point if I'm going to continue it or not. Maybe I'll soft DNF it and come back to it at a later time. I already have a soft DNF pile, as you guys are aware. I soft DNF The Kingdoms. I think I talked to you about that in a previous vlog. And I don't know. Like, I'm thinking that maybe for today or until that feeling of like, I just don't know if I want to read this now after having read those reviews. Like, does that ever happen to you guys where you're starting doubting yourself and you're like, I will go and check what other people have to say about this book, and then like other people's opinion about the book will sort of help or hinder your decision to continue with the book or not? Anyway, if you guys are ever running into this type of situation, let me know in the comments, because I'm starting to doubt myself and my own ability to judge things. So that's basically where we are. That's enough of a chit chat. I'm going to maybe close off the vlog here. Maybe not. We'll see.
The next day.
Hey you guys, so it is the next day and I have decided to DNF What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. And I think that this one is mostly my fault. It's actually, I'm just going to readjust myself on the sofa here. Yeah, so I think this one is mostly my fault because I bought this book from Book Outlet and they had it categorized in the adult section, but I since learned that it is actually a YA, and the internet kind of suggests that anyone between 13 and 18 years old read this book. So essentially, it was feeling kind of like something was missing to me as I was reading it. I actually DNF'd it on page 79 in case you're interested. And I looked it up and yeah, it's definitely reading like a YA novel. Goodreads does have a YA tag on it. So I'm not really sure why it was placed in the adult section at Book Outlet, because I feel like it's really reading like a YA, and I don't know, it just couldn't hold my attention. I just didn't feel like I wanted to come back to it. In fact, it was the opposite. I felt like I had to come back to it. So when I was trying to plan out my day and my reading for the day, I kept saying, oh, I have to go back to this book. Like, I have time to read and I have to read this one. But the thing is, I wasn't really paying attention to my vocabulary. So if I say I have to read it, it kind of feels like a chore as opposed to I want to read it. So in the end, this is a DNF, and I have some YouTube videos to work on and upload. And then after that, I'm going to have the afternoon pretty much free to read, and I'm going to have to figure out what it is that I'm going to read next. I did try to start reading Lost Gods a little bit earlier today after I had DNF'd What the River Knows. And I still at chapter 2, so I think I'm going to probably tackle this one this afternoon. And then I'll get back to you and let you know how it's going when we're about 100 pages in or so. So stay tuned and I'll let you know what I think. So it's been a couple of hours and I'm here checking in to let you guys know how I'm doing with Lost Gods. I haven't quite made it to 100 pages. I'm at page 70 right now. But yeah, I mean, I'm really liking it. It's definitely a horror, definitely reading like a horror. Not much explanation is being given to the paranormal things that are going on. We have our main character, Chet, who has just been let out of prison, and he goes to his wife's house, who has been living with her father while he has been incarcerated, and finds out that she's pregnant because he's been in prison for 6 months for like drug dealing. And basically, he whisks her away in the middle of the night, and they are on the run, and they end up at Chet's grandmother's place, who has like an isolated house on an island somewhere. And basically, that's the setting of the story, and strange things happen. The inside flap of the book, and I'm not giving anything away by telling you this because it's written on the inside, basically has Chet dead. It starts out that he's alive, but he dies pretty early in the novel. We've got airplanes. I'm filming, and it's like the end of the day when all the airplanes are coming into the Montreal airport. So they'll be coming in like succession. So we're just gonna have to deal with it, as we always do. But yeah, I mean, he dies, and basically his adventure is that he has to go into purgatory, into the underworld, and I guess deal with a whole bunch of these lost gods in order to find a key that is going to bring him back to the surface and be able to sort of undo whatever has been in place for the last little while. So yeah, it's like, I guess hopefully he'll come back to the surface and be alive again. I really don't know. Like I said, I'm only 70 pages in, but it's kind of giving those types of vibes. But yeah, I'm liking it. The writing is really easy. It's very accessible. I find myself flipping pages really quickly, so that's really good. I wouldn't say that the writing is compelling, but it's definitely not boring, and I probably will read this book pretty quickly. It's kind of feeling to me like it's going to be about a 3-star, 3.5-star read for me, just based on like what I'm getting the vibes so far. But then again, I mean, I just don't know if horror as a genre is really working for me lately. So I'm trying a whole bunch of different horror authors to see if there's one that will stick. And yeah, I think that with that, we will bring this vlog to a close. Can you guys hear the airplane? There's another one coming. We're just going to wait for it. They're gonna come in every 30 seconds or so we better talk really quick. Yeah, so as I was saying, I wanted to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I know that this vlog was a little bit chatty, a little bit long, but I appreciate you all for being here, every single one of you. I like to have these vlogs every third week or thereabouts of the month so that we can have a heart-to-heart, a little bit of a more intimate chat. It's something I like to do. If this type of video is something that you guys like to see and you want to see me do more of and continue making, then please let me know in the comments below. And with that, I'm going to thank you again because I can hear another airplane coming. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all so much. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you again in the next video. Ciao for now.